Mario Kart World. I played the game over a week ago at the Nintendo New York event where they had a hands-on for the Switch 2, did my impressions video. However, there is just so much to talk about when it comes to this game. There has been so much footage, not just from the trailer and the Treehouse live streams, but also from other players at the Nintendo experiences all around the world. There is just so much going on with this game, and honestly, it's like a little overwhelming. There's just so much coming out every day from people that are playing it hands-on. They're finding new things on the map, be it when they're in the open world section, be it when they're doing regular races. So that is what we were talking about today, just how freaking massive Mario Kart World is, a lot of the fan theories, including thoughts of there being a whole other world map and continent, which is going around right now, which is absolutely crazy. But we'll also be talking about what we might see in tomorrow morning's Mario Kart World Nintendo Direct. Of course, if you are new here and you enjoy Mario Kart content, but also Nintendo Switch 2 coverage, reviews, news, all that fun stuff, I would appreciate you subscribing. Let's get into it. Okay, so we know this game is releasing on June 5th alongside the Nintendo Switch 2, an amazing launch title, really the best possible thing they can launch their new console with. It's funny, we had Mario Kart 8 for so long, over a decade at this point. Everybody's freaking out about how GTA 6 is going to shake up the gaming industry, and yeah, GTA 6 is going to be an absolute juggernaut, but honestly, Mario Kart is that, but for Nintendo. We are potentially getting two of the all-time greatest selling games of all time in the span of like 6 months, which is honestly just really exciting if you're a fan of both things, but as someone who played a lot of Mario Kart 8, it almost hasn't sunken in yet that we are actually on the precipice of something new, right? Even though I literally played the game, it still doesn't feel real almost because I'm just so used to Mario Kart 8. That's the Mario Kart game. But after going hands-on with the game and then getting back home and being able to really sink my teeth into all of the footage, but all of the fan theories and stuff, I think they have a lot to say in tomorrow morning's Mario Kart World Nintendo Direct. First up, let's talk about that character roster. Oh man. What an interesting thing. So in my Mario Kart 9 Biggest Hopes video I put up back in, I think, February, I said at the end of that video that my biggest wish is that when we see that game again, it's just going to have a moment that's like, oh, wow, that's kind of neat. Or something that just completely subverted expectations, like when we saw Mario throw his cap onto that frog at E3 2017 and they unveiled the capture mechanic. I think they did that. They nailed it for me. The wow factor of this game isn't necessarily the open world, which of course is massive and a huge departure from what we've seen from Mario Kart in the past. To me, that big moment was the character roster. I know characters don't really matter in how you're playing a Mario Kart game, but it just adds so much spice to the pot, right? So not only are we getting all of these amazing costumes and variant characters that we saw in Mario Kart Tour, which was also on my wish list for this game before we saw it in the Nintendo Direct earlier in April, we're also just getting random characters. Listen, I want Gino and Mallow in this game as much as the next person. You can't deny that seeing that cow or seeing that coin coffer driving a cart lit something up in you, you know? As much as I want those like Mario RPG characters and deeper cut Mario characters in this game, seeing all of these just random Mario enemies like the Sidestepper, that was unexpected in a way that I'm actually very happy about. I still want those other characters, and I think maybe we could see them in the Nintendo Direct tomorrow, or maybe there'll be a free update or DLC later down the line. I do think this game will have DLC eventually, but seeing basically every Mario enemy become playable is really cool, even if it doesn't make sense. I'm really, really happy about the character roster, and of course the costumes. I still have some questions here. If anybody can let me know, I don't think we know what the food bag really does, other than give you a different skin. However, for a lot of characters, that does nothing, namely those Mario enemies. So like when the Sidestepper picks up the burger bag, he's not getting a costume. When Pauline does, she does, of course, but there has to be something else there. Maybe all of the enemies will have costumes and they'll announce that in the Nintendo Direct tomorrow. I think that is possible, but for me, there has to be some other gameplay element there to the burger bags, because I mean, they're literally in the courses when you're doing Grand Prix races and knockout races. Other than unlocking costumes, I don't really see the gameplay point of that. Do they give you a small speed boost? I didn't notice it when I was playing, but I was also playing at 100cc with the auto steering one because that's just the demo environment. They gave us I'm really happy there are costumes, though. That was one of my biggest hopes coming off of Mario Kart 8, but especially Tour, is that the next console Mario Kart game would have just a metric ton of costumes. This is a game we're going to play for 15 years, probably. I really think it's going to be even longer before we get another Mario Kart. Give me some freaking visual variety, man. Give me some variety for how my Mario looks in this game, and eventually through free updates, maybe paid DLC, whatever they decide to do. I want Mario to have like 50 outfits, you know? I want them to go absolutely crazy. And I hope that does extend to the Goomba and the Hammer Bro, right? I hope we just get costumes for everybody in this game. Something that is a little weird, we have not seen the Koopalings. I don't know if Nintendo is going to erase them from existence, but they weren't in Mario Wonder, which was already kind of weird. And now they're not in this game so far, when they were such a crux of the Mario Kart 8 roster. I'll be curious to see if those come back, but also characters like Peachette. Don't know what's going on there. We haven't seen Funky Kong or Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong also seems to be erased from existence, so we'll see on those other characters. But overall, as it stands, pre-Mario Kart Direct watching, I'm very, very happy with this roster. I think a huge focus of tomorrow's Direct is obviously going to be the open world. We've seen that you can literally drive in between tracks. It's actually an open world Mario Kart game where you can squad up with your friends, go take pictures. However, that's all they've really shown. They've just shown, like, yeah, you can squad up with your friends and take photos and explore. We know there's like some sort of like in-game challenges. I saw a pop-up where it was like Mario drove 20 kilometers or whatever. It looks like you might be unlocking all the different costumes by exploring the open world, but we don't have any context for why there is an open world. This is Nintendo. I think if they wanted to do an open world game, they must have a very specific vision for what you are doing in that open world. So in my opinion, I think a big focus of tomorrow's Nintendo Direct will be a single player or at least some sort of campaign. I think you will be able to play it with friends, but something to do in the world other than just race. Maybe there will be a story attached to it, maybe not, but challenges, mission mode stuff. There's going to be a lot to do in this world. If there's not, that's a huge L in my opinion. I think there has to be a lot you're doing in this world, and I think that will be a big focus of tomorrow's Nintendo Direct, because all we've seen so far is just like, yep, you can drive around and take photos, and it looks like that's how you unlock characters, but we haven't seen like content in the world. So far, it really just seems like there's empty space in between all of the different tracks. I think there will be, maybe not like literally NPCs that give you quests, but something like that, honestly, some sort of revival of mission modes, some sort of single player content that I do think you would also be able to do with friends. I think that is maybe one of the biggest things they're hiding about this game right now. Or maybe that won't be the biggest thing they're hiding, because a lot of people noticed something very interesting about the logo for Mario Kart World. So the world already looks pretty big. I think we have about 30 confirmed tracks so far. Maybe that's it. Maybe that is the entire lineup of tracks. I wouldn't be totally shocked if that's the case, because there is so much else going on in this game. However, a lot of people have noticed that the logo in the little like world globe behind the Mario Kart World text, the continent on the bottom actually lines up with what we've seen so far. So this has led a lot of people to think that maybe it's not only this one section, maybe there's an entire other continent or two even that they haven't shown us yet, with even more content beyond what we've seen. This feels a little far-fetched to me. The continent in the globe doesn't exactly match up with the landmass that we're seeing from the actual map. However, it is a fun theory, and I don't think it's impossible. I just don't know if this would be like a launch, right? Like maybe this is their post-content plan, which is what maybe they'll get into in this Nintendo Direct. Be that paid, be that free. I know paid DLC would light the world on fire right now. Maybe that's something they want to add on later as paid expansions or even free updates. Or maybe it would be part of the package. Nintendo seems very defensive about that $80 price tag, so maybe they are going to show up with just like 3 world maps and like 90 courses or something. That would be absolutely nuts. But this is one of the more popular fan theories going around right now, is that there will be other world maps here. We have seen some leaks from, I think it was like the Nintendo Korea website or something, that showed Rainbow Road a little too early. A lot of website leaks. We had that. We had the Donkey Kong Bonanza Pauline stuff. But to no one's surprise, Rainbow Road is, of course, going to be in this game. We'll see how you actually get there. Is it going to be like a cannon you get into and it launches you up into the sky? Because this world actually makes sense for the first time in a Mario Kart game. I guess kind of since Double Dash. Double Dash had a lot of like the environmental stuff. Like on Peach Beach, you can see Daisy Cruiser. In this game, they're going to have some sort of natural way that you get into space and are racing on a rainbow. So we'll see how they contextualize that and make that make sense. But yeah, if there are going to be multiple world maps, I think that is definitely going to be a massive focus of tomorrow's Nintendo Direct. Though I will say, if there's only 30 or 32 tracks in the game, I think this Direct will probably just go over all of them and show all of them in finer detail. If you were around for the Mario Kart 8 Direct in 2014, I'm pretty sure that Direct like went over literally every single track. At that point, we'd already known most of them. Maybe there was one that we didn't know about. I remember something with Wario Stadium. I think that might have been either the last track announced for that game, or maybe we didn't know about it until release or something. There was something with that track in particular. So I think this Direct will likely tell us basically everything there is to know about the track selection in this game, which leads me to the next talking point, remakes. Since we're not really expecting this game to have 96 tracks at launch like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe currently has with all of the DLC and Booster Course Pass stuff, I was a little disappointed at first to see that there are track remakes. However, upon taking a closer look, you will realize that the track remakes are so far removed from what we had on the original versions. I mean, there are elements, but you look at a track like Wario Shipyard or Dino Jungle, which I'm super happy is back, and I mean, they've changed them so much that they're really just the track in name only. It reminds me a lot of like the N64 remakes we got in Mario Kart 8, like a Rainbow Road that is just so different from the original, how they pace it out a little differently. But now we're seeing track remakes on that scale, but for the more modern stuff like Mario Kart Wii, 7, and 8. So it just feels a little different. But yeah, I'm okay with remakes if they're really changing them up this much and they're bringing back the bangers like Airship Fortress, which we know is in the game, which is one that I was really disappointed it wasn't in the Booster Course Pass. So yeah, I'm excited to see the full track selection, if that is only 32, 30, whatever. Maybe there's more to it, and how many of those will be remakes. I think it looks like 18 and 14, which feels unbalanced, which is why I think there might be more than 32, but we'll see on that. And then the final thing I want to talk about in today's video is the battle mode. We don't know what's going on with battle mode in this game, and I think that is a big part of this Nintendo Direct. I know for a lot of people, myself included, battle mode isn't really why I play Mario Kart. It's a nice distraction, sure, but even Mario Kart 8 Deluxe battle mode, which added a lot of stuff there in terms of modes and maps, I'll be honest, it's not something I've really revisited at all since 2017. However, I am very excited to see the battle mode for this game because I think there is a reason that we haven't seen it, and I think that reason, this is my theory, is that there might be a battle royale in this game. Nintendo has not done a battle royale ever. They've never done something like that. People thought they might do it with Splatoon 2 or Splatoon 3 because that was the trend around the time, but they still have not done a proper battle royale. I think there is a real chance that a big part of the reason Nintendo wanted to make a Mario Kart World, an open world Mario Kart game, is because they want to make a Mario Kart Battle Royale. And maybe that's not necessarily a replacement for battle mode and the traditional battle maps that we see. Maybe we'll see both in the Direct tomorrow. But I think there will be a mode where you're on a map with like 150 players or something, or 100 players, and you are driving around. And it is essentially battle mode. You're doing pickups. Maybe you still have balloons or something, and you're, chasing players down. Maybe there's other activities that can pop up, like you get into an actual race with other players mid-match or something. I think there will be some sort of battle royale battle mode in this game. Maybe in addition to, like I said, like that traditional Shine Thief, balloon battle kind of gameplay one, design map specifically for it. But I think that'd be really cool, and I think it would explain their desire to make this game open world beyond what we've seen so far and beyond even just a potential like story mode or single player content mission mode stuff. Some sort of large scale Mario Kart battle royale I think would actually be a lot of fun and would make me more interested in battle mode than I have been in the past, to be honest. I think there also might just be other modes that we don't know about that are akin to a Knockout Tour. Knockout Tour was the highlight of my hands-on impressions. I really am excited to play Knockout Tour. It's essentially Fall Guys rules where you have to place within a certain number to continue on with the race, and it's like a sprint of like 6 races. It's very fun. Definitely a big fan of that. Maybe we see more just alternate modes like that, which is actually something I also mentioned in my wishlist video a few months back, of just like, I want more things to do online than just racing and battle mode. I just want a full suite of different modes. And in that video, I also mentioned that I want there to be like events, and I think there's a good chance they go over that in this Direct as well. Something akin to like a Splatfest, right? Give me some sort of Splatfest seasonal content to unlock or grinds or just, experience, right? Mario Kart 8 is a very stagnant game in a lot of ways. I want there to be something that is ever changing in Mario Kart World. Mario Kart 8 wasn't really designed to be a live service game. It's their biggest game ever. I think that is going to change with Mario Kart World. I think we will get updates for this game for years to come, maybe even half of a decade. Like, I think they're going to update this game for a long time. I hope they give us a glimpse of that in the Nintendo Direct tomorrow. The issue is, will it be free? Will it be paid? Of course, there will be free updates for this game. To what extent, we don't know. But will there be paid DLC like we saw with Mario Kart 8? The answer we all don't really want to accept is that it's probably going to have paid DLC. I wonder if they show that tomorrow, though. I mean, after the reactions to this game at being $80 online, if they announce paid DLC tomorrow, dude, it's gonna be rough. You know, let the heat die down, Nintendo. Maybe announce that in like 6 months or something. But if it's something they want people to, you know, pre-order with the game, like the season pass or whatever, they would want to announce it earlier. But also that could be part of the $80 price tag. Maybe instead of doing paid DLC for this game, they're just like, we want to make it a platform that people don't have to spend more money on after that initial $80. You're already like baking it into the price, essentially, if that makes sense. That's the ideal situation, I guess, is that it's $80 because all the updates forever will be free, be that new costumes, be that new vehicles, tracks, modes, that kind of stuff. I want to see a little bit of a roadmap post-launch in this Nintendo Direct. At the time of recording, we do not know the length of it. I think that will likely be announced by the time I post this video, but I'm expecting a deep dive on this game in terms of what's there at launch, but also a glimpse of what's to come in the future. Needless to say, despite that $80 price tag, I am extremely excited for this game. I still have to like kind of pinch myself at like, oh, this is real. We're getting a new open world Mario Kart game that I'm going to put 1,000 hours into. It almost is hard to believe, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you excited for Mario Kart World? And if so, what aspect? Is it the character roster? Is it the tracks, the open world? And what do you want to see from the Mario Kart World at Nintendo Direct tomorrow? Be that more costumes, more characters, stuff to do in the open world, battle mode, battle royale, whatever it is. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will, of course, be live streaming it tomorrow morning, so stay tuned to the channel for that. I'll go live a little bit before we do a little bit of a Mario Kart World pre-show, so stay tuned for that. As always, you can subscribe here for more Mario Kart content and Nintendo Switch 2 coverage. Follow me on Twitter at BoTalksGames. Check out my other channel at It's Amiibo, and click on one of these 2 videos here to listen to me ramble about even more Nintendo Switch 2 nonsense. Until next time, folks. Peace.